This is a video on how to clean your carburetor. Pretty much anything to clean your carburetor. You can have just some carb choke cleaner. There's different kinds. Any of them are good. Or you could use something stronger like Chem Dip, like 20 bucks. These are a lot cheaper. It's like $2, but it just depends on how dirty it is. And you're gonna need some tools, so screwdrivers, wrench, some type of pliers. You might not need them though. You gotta take off the side panel here, just so you can get to the carburetor easier. And then you're gonna want to take a wrench that fits the bolt right here, right there, and just unscrew these. And once you break the seal, you can undo it with your fingers. Have a parts tray so you don't lose your parts. And there's another bolt on this side right there. Unscrew that. Mine are already pre-loosened just so the video is a little smoother. So you have another bolt, put that in your parts tray. And come back here to this side, get a screwdriver, and right there is the screw, so you gotta undo that. Just gotta loosen it, you don't have to take it off completely. Just wiggle this hose off here. It's kinda hard to get off. A lot easier with two hands. So once you get this hose off here, off the back over there, then you can just slide this out, let it hang freely. That's disconnected from the engine. Then you got to come around to the back with a screwdriver. Oh, flathead actually. You gotta do this one right here. That's your fuel line back there. You can see it. Right back here too. That's your fuel line. You gotta disconnect from the carburetor, so you can actually take the carburetor out of the engine. Got that. There might be some gas that dumps out, so just be ready for that. So you got it off the carburetor, so now it's just a little needle sticking out there, and you can go ahead and unscrew the throttle up there and pull the whole carburetor out. You can go ahead and unscrew the throttle. You may need to use the wrench to do it, but I already loosened it. It's kind of hard to get the wrench back there, especially with one hand. You just got to unscrew this. Whole throttle pops out the top. Slides out. You can just tuck that off to the side. Now your carburetor's loose. Just gotta wiggle that out of there. And there's your carburetor. You forgot to drain the carburetor before you started doing this. Then I'd do it outside because it's a little messy. Probably shouldn't be doing this right here, but whatever. So get the gas out of there. And then unscrew these 3 bolts that hold the carburetor on. Moving on to the second one. And then the third one. There. And there goes the rest of the gas. Let me try to bring this over to the grass and do this. Alright. Now I got most of the gas out of it. I'd drain it before you take it out because it's a lot easier and not as messy, but I forgot. So, what are you gonna do? Do all 3 of those screws. You can take the bowl off the top. Go ahead and set the bowl down. And this is your float right here. There. And you can go ahead and take the float off. You need to get a something skinny and put it in there to pop out the pin. Once you get the pin out of there, make sure you don't lose that. So put that in the parts. Then you can take your bowl out, lay it down there. By the way, this is a carburetor for an XR200R. You know, this is your needle right here. Don't want to lose that. This is what the needle, what it does is it goes right here, and the float, when it rises, it lets the gas into the carburetor right here. And then once it rises up, gas flows in. And when it fills up, it goes down and blocks the gas, keeps the gas from coming in and overflowing it. Yeah, you can see how dirty this is. It's not good. Screw your main jet. Check this out. Yeah, you can't see. Look into the light. You can barely see through this. Just blowing some air through it will even open it up, but you need to find like a small wire, or they actually sell wires that are made to clean out jets, but just like a small piece of wire will work, or paper clip or something like that. Now you can take out your smaller jet. I think it's called the Pilot. Go ahead and unscrew this. Yeah, this one's really clogged up. You can kind of see. That one's going to need to be cleaned. Get your jets cleaned out as much as you can with the wire. Then you can go ahead and take some of your parts cleaner and spray them out. Take the parts cleaner and just spray them out. So take the hose and trying to do this through the camera. Yeah, then just spray them out. Both sides. Just clean it out for maybe like a second or two. Do both of them. Now you got your jets cleaned out. Good. And take a paper towel. Just dry them off a little. So now your two jets are clean. See through them good. I had to get the chem dip. Then you got to pull off all the wire hoses and stuff off. Like any softer metals, like I'll probably have to take this off. The seals, because that will just destroy the stuff, or the stuff will just destroy this. Plastic choke, I take that off. That's probably all you got to take off. So, and then you can just soak the whole thing in the basket. Well, oh, and the hose off of this one, and the seal off this. The little seals and hoses off. You can go ahead and put the stuff in the chem dip. We actually don't need to take that off, unless you're going to soak it for longer than in like 4 hours, but we're only going to soak it for probably an hour, so we don't need to. You're not allowed to, you're not supposed to use any, or put any plastic or rubber in the chem dip, so, because the chem dip will just destroy it, so, yeah. Alright, so this is the chem dip. I've never used this before, so this is really sealed down. Comes with a little basket, and wear some type of glove because this stuff irritates your skin, and it's just not good for your skin. So I have shop gloves, but I don't know where they are right now. So comes with a little basket. So you just grab a part, drop it in the basket. Actually, here we'll do the big part first, and then you just lower it in to the chem dip. Ooh, this stuff smells. Just seal it up. We'll come back and check it in half an hour and see how it looks. After you take them out of the chem dip, just wash them in some hot water to get all the chemicals out. Because if you leave it in there, it will destroy your engine. Because it'll put chem dip into your engine and destroy it. So you gotta make sure you get it all washed out good in the water and dry it off good too. Now let's put it back together. The chem dip did a great job, but if there's still little things in there like that you want to get out, then you can just use the carb cleaner spray, and it'll blast out most of that stuff. But I mean, these both look great. I'd get some chem dip, because chem dip you can use over and over again. You only have to buy it once. It's good for probably 10 carb cleans, so a few years. Unless you clean carburetors all the time, then not. So, put all your parts. This is why it's good to keep all your parts in the tray, so when you're going along, you can just put them all back in piece by piece. Like I was saying, you want to get some of this stuff out of there. Well, take that out. Then you can spray down inside the jets. I don't know what that is. I got most of it out. I think that's, I don't know, maybe rust or something.
But this you can use. You don't have to just use it on carburetors. You can use it on pretty much anything that you need to clean. So even in the bucket, you can see all the dirt that was on it even afterwards that got rinsed out from the chem dip. And put your jets back in. Set that down so you can see. Main jet. You can just do it with your fingers until it's tight, so you don't want to over tighten it. Pilot jet. This one's a little bit easier if you just tighten it with a flathead. You don't have to over tighten that either. But I mean, it got it really clean. That's not actually, that's just a wet spot. It's not actually dirt. So, I mean, it got it a lot cleaner than it was. It's definitely worth it. You can put your choke back on now. Unscrew this. This little tray pops off there. It slides in here. Actually, it goes in the other way. So you put your choke back on. Pay close attention to how you take stuff off, because otherwise it's a lot harder to put stuff back on. Tighten that down all the way. There's your choke. Now you can move on to putting your seals back together, or back on. So that's real easy. Just take the seal, line it up, and just push it down with your finger. Make sure it's flush, so you don't want it getting ripped. So just make sure it's pushed down good. And there's that one. And then you can get the other one and put it on here. There's that one. Alright, now you can put your float back in. Or back in place. Make sure, this is really important, make sure you have this needle on there so you don't flood your engine. So just overflow with gas and it'll either pour all over your garage floor, or you'll get too much gas mixed with air and they just cause problems. So you gotta put that there. Get your pin. Line the pin up with the float. Pin's kind of hard, so I have to hit it in a little bit. So once you get this all back together here, don't forget to put this little white piece on. So once you get that back together, you can put the carb 2 pieces here. Put these 2 pieces back together. Alright, now you gotta screw the 2 bowls together. So it's these same 3 screws that you took out earlier. Just you gotta tighten these pretty good because you don't want the seal to break and then gas will just start leaking out everywhere. That's not good. There we go. And there you go. Now reconnect both of these hoses.
Now reconnect your throttle to the carburetor just the same way you put it in. And make sure when you do that, like once you get that in, twist the throttle a couple times and make sure the throttle snaps back. Because if it doesn't, then that means you didn't put the cable in right and you gotta undo it and try it again. This is the wrong way to put it in. See, it might just be in like a tiny bit wrong, but when you pull the throttle, it gets stuck. It means your throttle cable got pinched somewhere and you gotta try it again. Once you get your throttle tube back in, then you can go ahead and put these 2 bolts on to hook it back up to the actual engine, and put this hose back in place around the carburetor. And it's easier if you put the hose on without the ring, without the little clamp that you loosen, and it's easier just to put the clamp on afterwards. So I'll do that now. So once you get that band back on there, then all you gotta do is reconnect the gas line on the other side. So that just pops back on there, and then you can just tighten that down. You want this to be really tight, because this is your gas line, and if it starts leaking gas, then you're gonna run out of gas pretty quick, and you probably won't know why for a while. That was how to clean your carburetor. Thanks for watching.